Hello, Chris Duncan.
Hi there. Hi, guys.
Hello. So you're one of the British over 50s champions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was three of us. So luckily I managed to come in tied first place, which is good. Very nice.
Excellent, excellent. So a good start to your seniors chess career.
Yeah. So I've played in a few senior events now. All been very good fun. Played in the British seniors in summer, which was great down in Torquay. I played in the World Team Championships, which
Yes.
was out in Italy.
Aquitermi. Yes, I was
You're
there.
out there.
Yes.
You're out there as well. Obviously, you got hit by COVID a little bit.
Did rather, yeah. That was very unfortunate because it was like a nice event, and then like being stuck in your room is like really annoying.
It was a really strange event because it seemed like half the team went down with COVID by the end of it, and
Yeah.
it was such a
Not
nice
my fault,
event.
I think.
No,
Probably, hopefully.
who knows where it
Who
came from?
knows? Who
Who
knows
knows
where
where
it
it came from? But it was a great event, a really nice, really good fun event with a lot of seniors going over. I don't know how many England took over there, but it must have been about
I think we were
50.
like 4, 5, 6 teams, or at least 6, 7, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it must be like over 30 people, maybe.
Yeah, so it was at least 30 people. It was a great event, so I'd encourage anybody to play if they could. And obviously, England did well in the seniors tournament in the World Championships. I think we took gold
Yeah.
in the over 50s, gold in the
Yeah.
over 65s. And the women, how did the women get on?
Gold as well.
Gold as well, yeah,
Yes.
that's right. So
Oh,
three
yes. So
three golds.
lots of world champions out of that event.
Yeah, so that's been good. And previous to that, I played in some of the online over 50s as well,
Yes.
which has been
Yes.
fun. I mean, I've run into, I think it's Mark Hibden and Keith Arkle a couple of times in those events, which have been tough.
Those players are very familiar to everybody on the seniors circuit.
Yeah, it's very familiar players. But overall, yeah, it's been great. A great experiences playing in the over 50s, and of course, you know, I like to say I'm one of the younger ones in the over 50s
Yeah.
at the moment. So it's probably best to make hay while the sun shines because I'm not sure I'm ever
Absolutely.
going to get better than I currently am. Probably
You
going to
are, Chris, because I know you're going to get your rating up because you've got your all your IM norms, and I know you're going to get that rating up and get the title, get it all signed off.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I would say that my rating peaked at 2340, 2345. That was
Yeah.
about 5-6 years ago, and my rating has slowly gone back down now. So now it's down to 2200. So it's been
22. Oh, so you've only got another 200 points to go. That's
yeah.
not
I've
too
only got
bad.
200 points to get up to be able to make
Yes.
it to IM title. So, but it's going to be quite tricky.
Excellent. All right. So you've got a game to show us. Let me put that up here. Let's keep our names. And so you're black here against Rob Willmoth, yes?
Yeah, I'm black here against Rob Willmoth, and it's quite a critical point in the tournament. So it's the British over 50s Championship, and we're getting into the second last round here. So this is round 6.
Oh, so this is a high stakes, nervous encounter.
Yeah, well, it's basically it's round 6, and again, Rob's a really good friend of mine. In fact, we actually play football still together on a Tuesday night. So there's a few chess players that play football. Lauren DaCosta, myself, Rob Willmoth, Alikos, and there's quite a few of us. So he's a very good friend of mine. And to be honest, if it wasn't such a critical moment, we might have made peace, I think.
Yes.
But at this point in the game, in the tournament, it's the second last round, and we're half a point behind the leaders. So we both need to win to get a chance at winning the tournament. And I was only really looking for a win. But to be honest with you, it quickly goes wrong. So yeah, if we go through the opening moves, we get into a Slav. So this is the position that he prepared very well.
Right.
I didn't prepare quite as well because I wasn't expecting it from him. But we get a position that I played against Mark Hibden. So we go forward. Yeah, this is all theory. So the new move here is knight h4. The main move here is knight h4. The idea basically is white just plays for the 2 bishops. There's no way for black to keep the 2 bishops. But he does tend to get a pretty solid position. So after knight h4, yeah, the main move.
You kind of wanted to see this if you're trying for a decisive result here.
Yeah. This is quite good. I mean, the main move is. The old move used to be bishop g6, but now you play bishop e4 to force them to play f3 and then play bishop g6.
Yeah.
So now they play. Now the problem for black is you can't keep the light square bishop. So they play queen b3, and now again the old move used to be queen b6, but that end game is known to be good for white. So when you play after queen b6, the queen's come off, you lose your light square bishop, and white's just got a nice edge in the end game. Yeah, something along these lines. White's just a little bit better. It's not really much fun to play. So the move that I play and the move that everybody plays nowadays is queen c7. Keeps the position much more fluid and much more interesting. So at this stage, I've had this position a few times, and I'm pretty sure that's bishop d7 is a move that Mark Hibton's played against me twice.
Right.
So I played a match in the World Championships, in the World Senior Championships. I played bishop d7, bishop d2, and I think actually I was probably better in the game. But Mark, as he is, managed to outplay me and beat me.
Yeah.
I also played him, I think, in one of the chess classics as well, and we got this position. So bishop e7. Now the main move here is just to take the bishop. Knight takes g6. Yeah, so you do knight takes g6. H takes g6. Black gets a bit of pressure. I mean, you can see the h pawn. I can't take it yet because of my b7 pawn, but you can see that I'm looking at that h2 square. But I can't actually take it. I think he plays rook takes rook, queen takes rook, and then queen takes b7. So I'm not threatening it yet, but there will be some pressure on that pawn. But Rob didn't play that. Rob played g3, which is another move, but a move that I'm not familiar with. Oh, just to go back, by the way, just if you go back one move, I'm actually threatening here, and I have had this a couple of times in Blitz. I'm actually threatening knight e4 here, hitting his
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So uncovering attack. Yeah.
Knight on h4. So then he does that. He can actually play knight takes g6. So after knight e4, you can go knight. This is what I'm threatening, because you can't do it because white isn't going to move. But I'm threatening knight e4, and then after knight takes g6, I can interpose with knight takes d2.
Oh, a nice intermezzo. It's hitting the queen. So yeah,
and it's horrible for him. So he plays g3, which is a good move. And I'm not sure if I already had this position. I think I might have had this position against Luke McShane, but I don't. I think Mark normally takes on g6 when I played him. Right. So this is obviously still in Rob's preparation, so I was a little bit worried.
Okay.
I followed the main plan, which is not best. I took on c4, but this is a bad move, and I'm not going to repeat this again. The main move here should be to play a6. So instead of playing CD, you should play a6 first, and then you follow up with the same plan as I played in the game. But I don't. I have a slightly better position, one extra tempo. So a6 is the theory move and the move that I should play. But after d takes c4, bishop takes c4. What I tried to do is quite normal. b5 is the normal idea here. The problem is I'm probably just a little bit too slow. I probably need an extra move in this position. To get my queen off the c file. So we'll see what happened. And I think Rob had actually prepared against this move b5, and he actually gets a good position. So what I missed was after bishop. So he has to go back to bishop e2, and the idea is, so the idea here is that you just sort of play a6, knight bd7, castles, and c5, and you get I quite like the position for black. White's got a slightly strange pawn structure with pawns on g3, but he hasn't fianchettoed, and a pawn on f3 and a pawn on e3. But he's got the two bishops, and I think white is probably slightly better here. But after bishop e2, I played a6. I suddenly realised that I can't get c5 in. And if I can't get c5 in, I'm much worse.
Okay.
He's going to castle, play e4, and if I can't get c5 in, it's going to be difficult for me. My light square bishop is out of the game on g6. It's going to be difficult for me to make the e5 break.
So you can't get c5 because he's going to take on b5, or?
Yeah, so I realised at this point that I wanted to. Well, the problem is he plays rook c1, which is the move he plays now, which is a really good move. If he just castled, if he could, I only really looked at sort of castling and developing moves like that. If he did that, I could have played c5. But now he plays rook c1, and I can't actually play c5. Although I played it in the game.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what you can normally do is you can play c5, then they take. And then you can play knight bd7. So yeah, I play the move. I did realise I couldn't play it at the time, but I thought I've got to. So now normally what you can play is knight bd7 here. Okay, and then they've got no way of stopping you taking on c5. However, what I realised was that at this position, it's difficult to see, but actually he's got probably a winning move, which is Queen D1. It's very hard to spot.
I wasn't predicting that. Yeah, Queen D1.
Queen D1's really strong. So now I play knight takes c5 or bishop takes c5, knight takes c5, and then he just goes b4.
Okay.
And I go knight anywhere, and he goes knight takes b5. So knight back to d7, for example, and then he takes on b5.
Yeah.
And the strange thing is, although it's quite an obvious tactic, you have to see queen back undeveloping back to
yeah,
d1.
Yeah. It's such a strange move to get b4 in, isn't it? Oh,
yeah, he's got no other squares to allow him to get b4 in. But if he sees this, I'm in big trouble. So I had to realise that I can't do this, which was my initial plan. My initial plan was to just play, after c5 takes, was to play knight bd7 here.
Yeah.
So I realised that didn't work, and I realised that I can't just leave the c pawn there.
No.
So I'm going to have to.
So you whipped it off,
and I can see the tactic. And this is what's quite interesting, is that the tactic of knight takes b5. Knight takes b5 is going to win a piece back, because he's going to be able to break with the queen and then play b4.
Yeah. So he could do it straight away.
Yeah, so he could do it straight away. Knight takes b5 takes, queen takes. Now I can play knight bd7, but then he follows up with b4.
Oh, that's pretty scary, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm in big trouble. I'm not. This is really strange, and this is what happened throughout the game, and I couldn't believe it. I thought black's just totally lost here, but actually the computer says he's equal. So it's
I'm gonna put my engine on now. Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of really weird, because both me and Rob both thought black's just completely busted it. White's got the two bishops. He's going to be probably a pawn up at least with no problems, but actually the position's equal. Black can castle queens, can castle kingside, and if he takes on a2, white has real trouble castling.
Right.
And it's really strange to know.
Wow.
So if we go back to the position where I play bishop takes c5. Yeah, so actually, really strangely, this position is playable, and it is equal if he doesn't find the winning move here for white. Now, I couldn't believe that. This is why computers are so difficult to work with. I would never have found white's winning move here, and
I'm not going to find it either, mate. So
no, well, you're right. No, it's really difficult. But I would challenge any to find a winning move here. I think probably only maybe
viewers, you can pause your machines now if you want to try and guess the winning move.
Yeah, pause your machines and said. And the really strange thing is that after the winning move, I had to play through another 4 moves, and I still don't understand the idea of it. So it's one of those really, really strange.
Okay, so if I turn the computer on now, I'm going to see what it is.
Yeah, you'll probably see what it is. Yeah, God, and you can turn the computer on.
Yeah. Oh, G4.
Yeah, G4. So I think only Mike Basman and maybe Keith.
I would never.
I mean, it's just totally against any.
Chris, that I would never have thought of. Yeah, in this position.
G4 just doesn't make any sense. I mean, he's got the C file. He's looking at taking on B5. He's got all the. And then the winning move is G4. So I can't blame Rob for not finding it. I mean, this is the only winning move he had throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I would never have found it. So if you play through this variation, I still don't understand why it's winning. So
no, I don't see what G4's got to do with it. So castles.
And so I just castle.
G5.
Well, G5 or taking on G6 first. My computer says take on G6 first.
Okay, take on G6 first.
H, and then G5. And then knight FD7, sorry. And now knight E4. And then queen B6.
Queen B6.
I still don't understand why. I mean, it says +3 for +2 for white. I still don't really understand it. I mean, visually, if you gave me this position, I'd probably take black. So I never really understood.
Yeah. Well, this computer seems to be very keen to go H4.
Yeah, H4, and it says this is just winning for white. But I think for us humans, look at this position, you might think, well, white's position's a bit open. He hasn't castled.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure why he's winning here, but maybe that's what makes me a weak player. I mean, to find G4 in the first place would be really difficult. Then even 4 moves down the line.
We still don't see why it's winning.
I can't even see why it's winning. I can't even see why it's winning. It must be because there's some great kingside attack.
Yeah.
Black pieces. He hasn't developed his queen's knight, but it's just bewildering to think the computer finds this position as completely winning. And I can't even when we go 4 moves down the variation, I can't really see what's wrong with Black's position. I mean, I'm sure it would prove it to me and it would show me why it's so winning.
King F2. So we've got another 4 moves down.
Yeah, and I
suppose we can now imagine in the rook, the king's come out of the way here and the rook going in, and maybe.
Yeah, now you sort of get an idea as to why.
But yeah, wow, that's quite deep, isn't it?
But it's really deep. It's really difficult to see these kind of positions.
Yeah.
So I can't blame him for not seeing G4. I mean, you've got to be able to see a lot of moves ahead to be able to see why this would be winning for white.
Yeah.
But okay,
right. So we were there. Yeah. Okay. So instead of playing on the queen side, which might be natural given all this pins going on and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, he played the natural move, which not really a natural move actually. I'm not really sure why he played it now. Knight takes G6. I mean, I'm not really sure. I know he was a bit worried that my bishop might come in someday, might come into D3 or something. But I wasn't actually threatening to get my bishop out of that capture. So I think he should have left that move. And actually now that's it. That was his one chance. So the computers now say it's probably I'm just about holding this position, which is really strange, especially when you consider his next move. I mean, I think anybody would be tempted by, as soon as you see knight takes B5 with white, you're going to play it. Although it might not actually be the best move in that position.
Yeah, and then we've got this B4 again. Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is that he takes on my position's a bit of a mess now. Really, he's got the 2 bishops. He's going to be at least a pawn up, and this is very, very tempting. So I think at this stage, me and Rob are both thinking the same thing. I think he was quite smug at this point, thinking, "Oh dear, he's winning." Actually, the computers again, they say the position's equal. Right. And I thought I was totally lost. So, I got up from the board thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to swindle him somehow. And it looks like I'm going to be at least a pawn down. He's got the 2 bishops. And as long as he can castle, actually white must be just doing very well. However, there's a little bit of caveat to this, is that he can't really castle very well. He can't actually get his king out in the centre. This is what gives me just about enough compensation.
Yeah, because he can't go king F2 because you take on D2. So you do that same thing in that other line.
Yeah, he needs a couple of moves really to get himself into the position. So he plays. He takes on C5. But in this position, instead of castles, I mean, I looked at a lot of different things. Like I'd love to play rook takes H2, rook takes H2, rook takes H2, queen takes.
Oh yeah.
G3. But it just doesn't quite work.
You haven't got a.
Then I can take on
at the end.
For example,
take on D2.
Yeah, I can take on D2 here, for example. Yeah. But it doesn't quite work. I think he can just take that back. I can't remember what does the computer say in this position. I think it's
plus 8.6.
Yeah, he's just totally winning because actually his king's totally safe, and so this doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
So I looked at that.
Yeah.
So where are we? Instead of castle,
to BC5.
I looked at that, and I looked at.
But you controlled yourself. You managed not to go down the nice looking line, and.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I decided that the best thing to do was to castle, and actually, the computer still thinks this is equal. Although I thought I was just a pawn down for nothing. So in this position, I think his best move is to play C6, well, possibly C6.
Yeah.
That would be kind of a normal move, yeah. And then actually, again, although it looks like white's a pawn up here, the computer says this is fine for black. I mean, we were both convinced white's just winning here. But after knight E5. Again, he still can't castle because of his bishop on D2.
Yeah.
So he probably has to play F4. And they go knight E G4. No, he can't castle. And I mean, humans don't really like playing these sort of positions where you can't castle. You just feel like you're about to get checkmated at any point. And then he played bishop f3, and then rook d8. And white and black's got loads of conversations. You can see.
Yeah, this looks nice now, doesn't it?
Yeah. So this is actually, I mean, it's still equal. The computer gives this as equal, but I think we'd all prefer black here. Given that, you know, there could be some sort of accident. You've got really nice knights there getting in towards the king.
Yeah.
So actually, it's not as easy as it looks for him. So although he should probably play c6, what he played here is probably, although the computer doesn't say it's a blunder, he played queen b1. And while I've been defending the whole game here,
here comes the counterattack.
Yeah, I actually, it took me a while to see this, and then all of a sudden I thought, well, okay, so obviously I didn't really understand queen takes b1, but yeah, he's allowed me. I was going to tell him to pause and see if they can see the winning move.
Oh, but, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right, Natasha. But what he's given me here is he gave me an opportunity, and I started looking at it, and the more I looked at it, the more I liked black's position. At first, I thought, no, I don't think this is going to work. But then what I saw the move queen a5 afterwards, cutting his king off, meaning that his king has to come to the queen side. And so once I'd seen this, I thought, yeah, this must be playable. Once he can't play king, I mean, if he could play king e1 now, obviously he can't because it would still be checked. But if he can go king e1 and king f2, he's fine. But what's happened here is that I've cut his king off and he can't actually get back. So once I saw the move, queen a5 check, I realised this should be really strong. Again, the computer thinks it's all right for white, but any human's going to really struggle to defend this position. So in actual fact, the only move he had there was rook c3.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to put your rook into a pin like that.
No, not a natural.
It just doesn't look right because, I mean, I've got, for example, knight takes c5 and then knight e4 check. You know, or rook d8 check. It looks horrible, and it also threatening knight a4, all sorts of things. It just doesn't look right to play rook c3, but actually it's the only equal move for him. So if we go back to he played king d1, which was understandable because actually I did think it was his only move at the time as well. So he plays king d1, and then rook d8. Yeah, so rook d8. So I could have immediately taken on c5, but I preferred this move, rook d8, that allowed you to go knight e5 check as well. Yeah. And now the strange thing is, I mean, he's totally lost. We didn't realise it at the time, but there's no actually way of defending. The knight's just come in. My knight's going to come in on c5 or e5.
Wow, that turned around so quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one move and it turned around. Yeah. He's got no real way of defending this position. So he tried to play rook c4. But then after knight takes c5, it's totally working because my knight is coming into d5. My queen.
Okay, this is nice. Yeah,
my queen's stopping him getting his king away, and he's got to keep his king on the queen side, and it's obviously not getting enough defenders. So I took on c5, and then he played rook e3. He actually offered me a draw after rook d4, which I thought was interesting because I think it's -8 or something on the computer.
Well, sometimes it's hard, isn't it, to adjust if you were winning and
Yeah, well, we both thought he was winning. I think the computer's not really sure. Yeah. But he plays rook d4. Yeah. And then actually I didn't actually see it immediately how good knight d5 was, but once I played knight d5, it's really crushing for black. I mean, I'm threatening obviously. Well,
knight c3.
I'm threatening knight takes e3 or knight c3 check. And there's no way that he can meet these moves. So he played what was, one of the only moves, king c1, but that just loses the move.
Oh, yeah. And here you go.
And knight b3 check. And that's actually mate in 2. so that's actually mate in 2 because I'm playing queen a1 check.
Okay.
And so the game's actually completely turned around and that's game over. So it was quite a nice quick victory in the end, but it felt like
very nice. And then that set you up for the final round encounter, and where you won, didn't you, as well in the final round, and became the joint British champion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had to play Mr. Townsend in the last round, and I had the white pieces, playing on board one. It was amazing because I was half a point behind quite a few people, and all of a sudden I won that game and actually was the leader. I had the most points, and I was playing on board one, so I knew that with white in the last round on board one, if I won, then I'd have the at least joint title, and maybe even win it outright if the other two boards were draws.
Yeah.
And I managed to win in the last game.
Congratulations.
Which was lucky. I prepared quite well for that game, and it went right straight down my preparation. And then he blundered. So that was lucky. And that meant I managed to win it equally with I think it was Philip Croker, was it, and Paul Motwani.
Yes.
So that was good.
Great. Well, congratulations. Thanks very much also for agreeing to be part of this Seniors 2022 retrospective. And I'll see you soon, Chris.
Okay. Thanks, Tasha.
Bye.
Bye.